You had a KFC commercial? Were you
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
in
I
it?
was in the
Okay, so
KFC
how
commercial. Yeah.
did you get into a KFC commercial?
Where's the Diablo, cabrón? Come on,
Yeah,
el Diablo.
you should bring it on stage with you once just to like people like what?
I like Twinkle Toes. I got called everything in the book for sure. I was a little bit heavier set at the time, short, so everyone called me just. I don't have any regrets about high school other than prioritizing women a lot.
KFC commercials to ballet dancing to inspiring rock star, Blake is a breath of fresh air and an inspiration of his generation. Okay, your first question. I got this. Here we go. You is what is it that you hate people like my age, your mom's age, your dad's age? Like what is it
When
that
are you
you
going to
hate
school? When are you going to school?
when you go to school?
What school are you going to? When are you heading to school? When are you applying to school? When are you going to university? When are you going to college?
That's a narrative that hasn't changed in a long time because I that used to annoy me too.
My girlfriend's grandparents, parents, anyone I meet on my family, anyone I talk to, oh, you going to school? You going to school? I'm like, and I gotta be like, nah, I play in a band and I work at a restaurant.
That's
Makes you feel like a bum. But
that's
you can't get pressured into making huge financial commitments like that. Especially when you're not coming from millions of dollars, when you can just go piss yourself away at school and if you don't like it, then who cares?
for going to like. Do you mean like after like going to uni or college or is that what you mean? Like that's kind of school.
Yeah, because it's pretty much a full-time job that you don't get paid for. Is what it is. You're just unless you have your parents giving you money consistently, then you're not making any money. And if you don't use the time that you were there to make money after you were there and to pay all that off, then you're pretty much just screwed. You start from square one again. So that's
Yeah,
like a
sure.
it's a big commitment to make. I really don't understand how some people just go right out of high school and straight into another program, like for 4 years, 5 years, 12 years. It's
You're
actually astonishing.
you're wise beyond your years. School's useful for people that want to be like a doctor or an engineer. If that's what they know that's what they want to do. But you don't just go into school for the sake of going into school unless you have like an idea of what you want to do. I feel like some of the most successful people in the world never went to school, you know.
Oh, for sure.
And
Or went
I
there and
mean,
dropped out.
it has its place. I don't know, like obviously in Canada, you guys have to pay for tuition here in Scotland. University's free. You don't pay
Oh
tuition,
wow.
but you have to be from Scotland to get that. And I think there's a couple other countries in Europe where it's free, but you still have to have high standards to get into it, to be able to do that. And I
That's
still had no interest in going, even though it was free.
yeah, that's awesome. My girlfriend has actually taken advantage of that, I think. She's part Scottish, so she's going there for 2 years because it's better money. So yeah, that makes sense.
So she's going to study there.
Yeah, she's doing 2 years here at Brock, and then she's gonna do 2 years in Scotland.
So she does she get her education free in Scotland?
I don't know if it's free, but it's a better price than here. I know that.
I
Yeah.
think if she like lives there for I don't know, the rules change. I don't know if she lives there for a period of time and if she is Scottish, she has a passport. I'm pretty sure that she might be able to do the from for free. But don't quote me on
Yeah.
that. I'm not
Yeah.
100%.
No, I remember she was saying that to get it completely for free, she had to live there for like 6 months before she went to school, or like a year before she went to school, something like that. So she didn't want to do that. So that's why she's going here for 2 years and then there for 2 years. It's like a split thing.
Oh,
I don't know the whole detail about it, but that's all I know is that she's doing 2 years here and 2 years there.
yeah. How are you gonna feel about her being away for 2 years? How's that gonna go?
You know what? It's definitely bittersweet because it's gonna suck being long distance because that's it just comes with its own problems, obviously. But it will give me a chance to commit myself to something other than a relationship, which will be my band. Like I can kind
Yeah.
of just do
Be
full throttle
focused.
on that. Like I'm what my plan is to spend the 2 years while she's at Brock is gigging around here, getting my name built up, building up my social media, my knowledge on the music industry. Because I have Toronto.
Yeah.
Realistically, Toronto's an hour away from me, and that's a big place for like not even just musicians, but like actors, like a lot of like people in that kind of industry. The people I've heard it known as the Hollywood of Canada. So it's a good place to try and get your name out there. And so I'm gonna do 2 years of just grinding out this scene here, and then once she leaves to Scotland, I'm gonna pack up my toys and hit the road and go down south, hit Nashville, hit wherever I can, California. Definitely gonna
And,
go to
and
Seattle. Definitely gonna go just all over Canada, all over America, and yeah, with my lead guitarist definitely, and hopefully some other committed musicians that we can find, and yeah, try and make the dream happen.
yeah. Tell us a bit about your upbringing. Obviously, I know some parts of it, but like,
Yeah.
what led you to, your upbringing that led you to where you are now? And I also have like some personal questions. I mean, like, obviously, I know you came from a home where your parents separated and you were split between their houses and stuff. And obviously, my situation now. My kids are going through that,
Hmm.
and I kind of want to know, what I can learn that can help them going through it. But I want to know a bit about your experiences and your upbringing.
Uh, you know, when I do look back on it, which is very rare, I don't just sit and like ponder about my upbringing a lot. I like to be present, like in the moment. But if do look back on it, there was a lot of on and off, which is like going to my dad's house and going to my mom's house, going to my dad's house, going to my mom's house, and just not being in one place for a long amount of time really kind of screws with it screwed my head a little bit. Like I didn't enjoy going back and forth, especially because it was right after they broke up, and like there would be lots of conflict, obviously, between them, and and then it they would use things we would say. Like if I would go to my mom's house and say something, she could text my dad and say, so she could text my dad and say that we said something, and then we go to his house. He asks us about something that we said, and then I don't know. It just feels like you're always on like the stand. I feel like you're like in a courthouse, like you're getting questioned and you're under the oath. You always got to be truthful, but then you want to make everyone happy. You don't want to upset one person or upset the other people. You love them both so much. You don't want to see one person get sad because of something you said
So if
or
you could tell, if you could tell uh, parents, like if you could give advice to parents on how best to deal with that situation, like what would you say to them?
when you're in front of first of all, I think it's if you have young kids, you should avoid, obviously everyone's situation is different, but you should avoid breaking up at all costs, even if you have to not if you have to see other people, at least like live in the same house and still be friends and still be present in their lives if that's possible. I know like some people could have horrible breakups and horrible things happen. So I don't know anyone's individual situation, but that would definitely be something that would help out. But if you can avoid that and have to live in separate houses, which is totally fine, when you're in front of the kids or talking with the kids about your relationship, you act as if you're still married. You act just as nice, just as friendly, always never like
Like
yelling like because
civil, civil,
yeah,
yeah,
I would have times where I'd see like my dad, my mom just like screaming at each other from inside the car, and it just yeah, just not it's just not fun to see,
no,
because yeah, you just don't want to see two people that you love like that really mad at each other. And then sometimes it's something like it would be something about me, like my school or something, and then they would be arguing about that, and then you just feel like shit, and then they feel like shit, and then everything just feels like shit, and I
yeah.
feel like the one thing I've noticed about kids and children is that they pick up on vibes really well. They don't really pick up on what you say. They don't process what you say. They process your body language and how you feel about it. I watched this like thing on YouTube, or it was a TikTok reel, but it was this experiment. They had this young child, like not even talking yet, probably like 2 years old, and
Yeah.
these people were just having a dialogue, and like they weren't saying actual words. They were just saying, "I'm very happy. Yes, I'm very happy too. You're very happy. We're both very happy." And then the child was
Yeah.
just playing. He was playing with a toy, doing a puzzle. And then all of a sudden they started saying, "I'm mad at you." And then "I'm mad at you too." And then they started like getting in that negative tone. And all of a sudden
Yeah.
the boy stopped doing the puzzle. And then he started looking around. He started like observing the situation, and he started getting really anxious, and like he wasn't focused, he wasn't cognitive, and so I feel like um, seeing that kind of negative energy a lot can disrupt a child's development. You know, like how they
How
want
they
they
see things.
can disrupt, like, yeah, exactly, how they perceive things. It makes them more aware of negative situations, which is not what
Yeah.
you want as a child. You want them to be more aware of the positive situations. Like, you know, if something is going wrong, they could be just going right over their head and they're still happy. But if they see negative things happen a lot, they're going to be more aware of negative situations and be more alert, and it's going to, yeah, just negatively affect their daily lives for sure. But so yeah, always being, yeah, just always being positive and try not to, and just saving the
Right.
fight for just the for texting or calling later, like saying just, yeah, I want to call you later, talk about something, in a
All
separate
right.
room. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
obviously there's times where you just can't avoid it and like things just happen. I totally get that. But yeah, just that would be my advice for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, you're obviously a bit older when it happened for you. My kids are still really young. So
I
they
think
they,
I
they
think I was I think how old? Sorry, your kids again?
4 and almost 3.
Four and almost three, yeah. Yeah, well, me and my it wasn't too far off. I think I was like 6 or 7, and Charlie was like 4 or 5, or
Is that?
something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So no, I was pretty young
Yeah.
for
Wow.
sure. I
Um.
don't remember a time when my parents were together. Like
Okay.
that's something how long, like just like seeing old photos of them like hanging out together, or like
It's kind of
watching
strange.
their wedding video. I remember watching their wedding video when I was a kid. I made me cry. Just like because I never like because
I do.
I couldn't really remember seeing my parents ever like that.
I was setting up this room to do this video, and I was setting up this room to this video, and I came across some like pictures and stuff, and I'm like, of like me and the ex, and I think one day the kids might like see these pictures and just be like what the heck? Obviously, I traveled around the world,
Yeah.
stuff, and they might just be like, oh, you guys did all this together, and kind of,
Hmm.
yeah, it's kind of weird, but like, I try to be civil in front of them all the time, and I try to be civil apart. So it's not the easiest thing to do. And you
Yeah.
might learn that one day. You might learn it. It's easy. It's
No, for
easy to
sure.
say. Like your advice is great, by the way, because you've experienced it from the other hand, and I experienced it to a similar, not the same. When my dad left when I was about 14, but it wasn't like I didn't go live with him. He just left. So
Yeah.
I kind of get the being away from the other parent and the effects it has. But no, I think your advice is on point. My next question:
Yeah.
who's your big role model? Who do you look up to? Like obviously everyone has someone that. And I know who your biggest supporter is because that's the easiest answer I think in the world. But I
Yeah,
know who your
for
biggest
sure. Yeah.
supporter is.
Almost supports me too much.
I don't
Um,
know. I got some things I'm gonna bring up in this. I'm bring them up.
but my biggest role model. I like to say I did really inspire my like early guitar playing off of, and like most of my guitar playing off of Kurt Cobain. But I don't like saying he's my role model because I don't plan on
Yeah, well, he's
following
not
in
he's
those
not the greatest
footsteps.
role model, no, but he's a
Yeah.
good
I
musician.
I but for like life outlook, I don't know. I like to think I can take bits and pieces from everybody and kind of inform my own opinion. Like I like a lot of my dad's ideology, but I don't agree with a lot of it either. I love a lot of my mom's ideology, but I don't agree with a
Yeah,
lot of it either. I look up to both of them in different ways. But for the person I look up to like the most, like I just, yeah, I have to say Kurt Cobain. But I don't plan on following his life path
yeah.
exactly. But
I hope not.
I love his music and his music influence, and yeah, probably him.
How would you say your mental health is? Are you happy? Like, how's your mental health? Are you
I like
positive,
to
or do you
I
get
like to
depressed?
I love to say I'm a happy guy for sure. But one thing that definitely controls my life is stress, for sure.
Yeah.
Stress, stressing about being stressed, stressing about
That
stress,
was
stress
literally my next question I have here is: have you struggled with anxiety or stress, and how
every
did you
day,
cope? That was my
every
next
day,
question after your mental health.
every
This
day,
goes
for
to
sure,
together.
every day. Yeah, for sure. No, it's life is life's all about the way you look at it, and it's hard to always look at it as a positive thing because we've created life into pretty much a battle to the top and a race to beat everyone else. And it's kind of less about being here together and all about being better than everyone else and being the best. And obviously, being the best you can be is a good thing to say, but and I mean it in a way that of just it's too corporate is the way I'll put it. I don't like I don't like how food is used as a way to make money instead of feed people. I yeah, just things like that for sure.
You know, no, you hit the nail on the head there. About food is for sure. And what do you think helps your what helps you stay positive? What do you do? Like, do you like? Obviously, I know that you work out a lot. Do you find that that helps a lot with your stress? Or how you're
Um,
feeling. I
I
find when
have
I go to the gym, when I've had a bad week and I go to the gym or I go running after just been having a stressful week and I'm in that gym, it takes a whole 20 minutes and that stress is just gone.
mhm.
I've gone.
For me, I actually haven't had a lot of time to do the gym, but I do like a lot of calisthenics. I don't know.
Yeah.
I stretch and do like push ups, sit ups, and like different stuff for like my back. I always do ab workouts for because my dad told me having a good core means you're gonna have a good back core. So like because I always have problems with my lower back, especially I'm standing all day. So I just try
And
to
being
do
and
steps.
being tall, because you went from being like this short kid to being this 6 foot giant very quickly, which yeah, it'll hurt your back a little bit.
Yeah, so I always try to. My dad says always stretch if you don't want to be that old guy with back pain. Just stretch while you're young. So I try to do that as much as I can. And yeah, just push ups, man. Like I'm not a jack guy by any means, but like I'm very well built, very well toned, and that's all literally just push ups and sit ups. Like it's
Yeah.
and
And
just
what's your diet?
trying to
What you eat like you eat like a lion.
Yeah, no, I actually I used to for sure, but I have not been eating as much lately because of work. Like I work so often and so much, and usually I don't have an appetite in the morning, so I'll have like a little snack at work, or like I'll go to the superstore and get some like a little sandwich, and then have something at night. So I have thinned out a lot. Like I'm very trim right now.
No, keep eating protein, man. Keep eating
Yeah,
like
no.
eat chicken wings like you used to. Speaking of chicken wings, I I have all these like I never get the full story about I've asked your mum and she usually starts to tell me the story about you and KFC and then kind of the subject changes. I never get the full story. So I know I'm going to jump off the questions here because I really want to ask you about that. Like, what was the deal? Were you at a KFC commercial? Were you actually
Yeah,
in
I
it?
was in a
Okay, so
KFC commercial.
how
Yeah.
did you get into a KFC commercial?
All right, so it was a snow day at school. I can't. It was either a snow day or I was sick. I can't remember. I was home from school. Is the point. And my mom was obviously she was an actor at the time. Well, she was like just an actor for hire. Like she had an agent, so she would go to Toronto to do some commercials every once in a while, or do some auditions. And I was home from school. She was watching me, so she was like, "I gotta take him," obviously. So I went along with her to this commercial set, and it was for something else. Like she was doing an audition for something else, and
Yeah.
then I was just sitting there on the set, and this one guy comes up to me and offers me some chicken, like some KFC chicken, like just a
No way.
drumstick. And I was like, I'll take it, and I take it. I absolutely start tearing into that thing, and and then the producer saw me do it, like, and they were filming the KFC commercial while they were doing the audition over there. Like it was a
Yeah.
set, like two separate sets, and so the producer saw me, and they're like, "Holy shit, is this kid an actor?" And then my mom's like, "No, no, he's my son, but I'm an actor." Like, and then he's like, "We need him in this commercial." And then so I don't know how much. I don't know if they gave my mom any money. I just know I got a lot of free chicken that day, and they just filmed me eating a couple things of chicken. So it's like a whole commercial of like there's like people coming to a picnic with a bucket of chicken, and people coming home with a bucket of chicken, and then it just cuts to a nice profile of my face, and I go like this.
You need to say do you have I haven't looked for it. Do you have the link for it?
I don't know. I've lost it. I've asked my mom for it. I don't think she can find it either. But
Yeah,
then
there's a lot. There's a lot. I went through a lot, but I'm like, I don't have time. I did see the commercial your mum did with the lawn maintenance company.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that one. Yeah, I also did a Hot Wheels commercial, like a Christmas commercial where
Huh?
I got a big Hot Wheels set, and I set it up with like my fake dad, and then he held me up, and we were looking at it, and I was going
No way. I
woo
didn't know that
woo
one.
woo. Yeah, no, I was in the Actors Union. I did some auditions for movies and stuff, and I did like 5 or 6 commercials, and I was in like an extra in like an episode of a TV show. I can't remember what it was. It was so
Wow.
long ago, but yeah, I did that for a
That's
bit
that's
for
that's
sure.
that's that's for someone your age. That's you've done a lot more than most kids your age.
That's true. Yeah,
And I also the other one you obviously your mum has the dancing school, and you have been involved in dancing as long as I can remember knowing you.
yeah,
You've done ballet, you've performed on stage,
yeah,
and as a young man, I can imagine that that could be a little hard on the the social status. In my
yeah,
days, if you did ballet, you would literally get beaten up and called
yeah.
gay boy for doing it.
Oh yeah,
However,
faggot,
I
twinkle
remember you
toes.
doing it and thinking, man, that guy's got some stones. He gets up on that stage and does that stuff. Did you get a lot of stick from that growing up?
Yeah, I got called like fag a lot, like twinkle toes. I got called everything in the book for sure. I was a little bit heavier set at the time and short, so everyone called me just fat. And yeah, no, it was a lot of scrutiny for sure sometimes. And and my mom likes to say that's why I got out of it, but honestly, it really wasn't because I was so young when she opened it up, and I didn't really have like a lot of friends at the time, and I was like I think I was in grade 7, grade 8, and and so I went there, and then I was hanging out with all these chicks, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty sick." And then I was doing some musical
I
theater.
know yeah, you'd be around a
I,
lot of
I, I was doing musical theater, which was like a lot like acting, and I did some plays and stuff in grade school, and so I kind of liked musical theater, and then so from musical theater, then my mom also made me do a bunch of other classes to fill in for people. So then I just started doing it a lot. Like I even went to some competitions and like had like a musical theater solo, and I won like second or third place in the
yeah,
whole competition
I've seen the
just by doing it,
videos.
just by doing a
Am I
stupid.
allowed to ask your mum for some of these videos to like link them into the podcast videos?
No, I don't think
No,
so. No, I
okay.
don't think anyone wants to see that.
I could, yeah, people would be more interested than you think.
Oh
But
man.
I think like you're you're perform now that you're in a band and you're the lead singer or whatever band you continue to be in. I just my personal like because I watching you grow up, I think a lot of your confidence on stage and dancing is why you have the confidence to stand up and sing on stage because people have a hard time just talking to groups of people. It's like I
Mm.
used to have a really hard time talking to large groups of people, not so much anymore, but singing to groups of people like large groups like in bars and stuff that takes some confidence, and I think a lot of that
Mm.
confidence came from what your mom installed in you from dancing. Would you
You're
not
not
agree?
you're not far off the target there. No, that's definitely true. I will say I'm very confident in my stage presence, and I'm like a lot of people are like nervous to perform or like they get like stage fright. I get like stage excitement. Like I get so excited to get on that stage and just
It shows in your
give
videos.
it, and like yeah, I know, and like that's just I love those videos so much, but like that's just it feels so limiting in that studio, and I can't wait to like really bring my act to like a stage and really show people what the hell I'm made of, you know. Like I remember I played my high school, like my band played my high school.
Yeah.
I'll link that video. That's a cool video. Is because not a lot of people can say they played their high school. Even like my lead guitarist now, he said, "Oh man, I wish I did that, man. That shit's still that's what's going on. That's happening, man."
It's a cool story to go back on.
Like I got a sweet picture of my school yearbook. I'm in it with my guitar, screaming with my long
Oh
hair.
yeah.
I had, like this blue face paint on or something. It was
That
so
could be your
cool.
album cover when you get your first album. Crazy. I know
Oh
he's
yeah,
obviously
dude.
not a
Eight
rock
Mile,
star, but
one of the best band doc or music documentaries of all time. 8 Mile is so impressive. Right up there with Bohemian Rhapsody, which is actually the movie that got me on rock and roll.
which is that Bohemian
But
Rhapsody?
yeah, that was the first. That was my first introduction to rock and roll. Was Bohemian Rhapsody. I was in
Uh,
like grade 8, and I watched.
That's when that came out. God, that makes me feel so old. I didn't think
Yeah,
that movie came out that long ago.
I was in grade eight, and I remember I thought Bohemian Rhapsody was the title of Gangster's Paradise. No, it's not. Been spending most of my life living in. I thought it was like Bohemian, and it was like a rap city, like a
Yeah,
Gangster's Paradise is like
yeah.
a rap city. So I thought like, oh, okay, that's what Bohemian Rhapsody is. It's that song. So then I was like, I saw the title, and it was like this guy with a microphone. I'm like, that doesn't look like what it would be. So then I watched the trailer, and it was about a band called Queen. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. It was
Oh
I
yeah.
never heard of Queen ever. I knew "We Will Rock You" that everyone knows that song though. But so then
Oh yeah.
I watched that movie and like just by myself in my bedroom, jaw dropped after Live Aid, dude. Just like
Yeah, that's
I was
crazy. So
fucking starstruck, man.
that was a movie that kickstarted
Absolutely
your.
starstruck. Absolutely starstruck. And that's no one actually probably I guess I would have to say Freddie Mercury might be my biggest influence for performing. I love his stage presence so much, man. I love his
Yeah,
louder than life. Just absolutely. I'm obviously not going to wear all the spandex, but
yeah, yeah.
but I love his stage presence. Like
Well,
for a bit at the show, I'm gonna give my guitar to my lead singer, and I'm gonna take my mic off like Freddie Mercury, and I'm just gonna get the crowd going for like our final encore. It's gonna be absolutely metal. I can't wait.
yeah, that's crazy that that movie was your inspiration. Have you ever seen the movie Dirt?
But Motley Crue, of course, dude. Yeah,
That
dude. I got the Motley Crue
I
hair going
was
right.
I was oh, did your phone just die?
Lost you for a second there.
Oh yeah.
Kicked me
Well,
out.
yeah, that was weird. It just yeah. No, the Dart movie I thought was great. And do you know the drummer who was played
Tommy
by
Lee.
yeah, but he was played the actor that played him.
Yeah.
You know who played him that what's his name? He's a rapper guy. Made an Eminem diss track. I can't even think of his name now. Made, married to Megan Fox.
Not Machine Gun Kelly.
Yes, he
That was
plays.
MGK?
Yes, and do you know what I hate? I think the guy's a bit of a
Yeah,
twat,
dude.
but
MGK is the worst, man.
I know,
I
but
hate that guy.
he
I did
played
not know that was MGK.
he
Should
played that.
not be allowed to play Tommy Lee. That is
Yeah,
so
but do you
unfair.
know what? To his defense, I think he's an awful human being, but he played that part so well, and
He
I was
did.
so
That's probably why I didn't know it was
when he
MGK.
was
It's
doing
because
all
I actually
this
liked the role.
drum
I
and
actually
sticks
liked it.
and oh, yeah, I thought he was. I was like, it was later on. I'm like, why is that guy so familiar?
So
And I'm
no,
like,
I have to admit he did a great job with that. But I still don't like him.
you didn't know that was
I
Machine
didn't
Gun
even know that
Kelly?
was MGK. No, I had no idea.
Yeah, no, he's
I just knew
actually
I just knew Pete Davidson was in
better
that movie.
actor than he is rapper. That's for sure.
Yeah, for honestly, or pop punk artists.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was quite impressed with that movie. I love that, especially when they did the Ozzy Osbourne sniffing the
Oh,
ants off the
Ozzy,
piss.
dude, that guy has lived larger. I think he's the only one who's like lived the crazy rock star lifestyle and actually made it out the other side. Like
And he's still
he
alive.
he's
Yeah,
still alive. Like he's literally still alive, still alive and kicking.
yeah,
Sharing with my best.
yeah. No, I can't do an impression. Right, I gotta get back to some of these questions here. We're working
Yeah,
through them
shoot,
pretty
yeah, for
quick
sure.
there. Where were we? Last one I was asking you. Okay, here's one. What would you define what would you define as success and happiness? Like from the 19-year-old, what would you think when you would be like, right, I feel successful, I'm happy. Like
You know what? I honestly I feel successful and happy right now. You know what? I'll even say like I don't need much more than this to be content, A good group of friends, a nice girlfriend, a good band, a show coming up, Like obviously I don't have my own house or anything, but that's the reality for 90% of
there's
Canada right now.
so you don't want
So,
your own house, it sucks.
yeah,
It's expensive and a waste of money, just rent.
honestly, exactly. But yeah, like honestly, I feel I like yeah, I feel really content with where I'm at right now for sure.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
but
That's good to hear from a 19-year-old.
yeah, for sure, because a lot of people don't really know their place in the world, and I feel like the best way to find your place is not looking for one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the way you win at life is just doing something. That's not setting up a tent on Barton Street. For anyone who's not in Ontario, Barton Street's
Well, I know
the crack place where
that
everyone sets
reminds
up their
me
tents.
of a story that I did want to bring up in this, actually, of you and the Diablo, which was when I knew it was something a little different about you, and I think that's what's going to be your ultimate,
I still have it. I was actually jamming it the other day in front of my
uh,
girlfriend. She was like, "What is that thing? It's the Diablo, cabrón. Come on,
yeah.
el Diablo."
You should bring it on stage when you want, just to like people be like, what?
You're just ripping the Diablo,
No, but
throw it in the air.
I think
Catch it.
your mum, I think I brought one and then your mum bought you one, right? Or I
Yeah,
bought you
yeah.
one or something like that. I can't remember.
I still have it. It's yeah, I still have it. It's in my closet. No, yeah, it's awesome.
And then I showed you, and then I spent 3 days teaching you how to use it, and then the next thing you're on the street making you made $30 in less than
Made
two
30
hours.
bucks, man. It was like, yeah, 2 hours,
Less than
30
2 hours.
bucks. Less than
That's
two
almost
hours.
as much as I make an hour as a carpenter. You know what I mean?
Actually, I did do street performing at the same market, but I played my guitar. Obviously,
Yeah,
I just went out there with my acoustic, opened up my guitar case, made 25 bucks, played for an hour and a half. Bob's your uncle, you know.
yeah.
Sally's your aunt.
My cousin used to do it around your age, but he used to play the bagpipes in Glasgow, and he used to make a
Oh,
fortune.
nice.
Yeah, he used to make a fortune doing that.
Me and the band are playing a lot of street busing in the coming years. I want to get like a whole. I have this business plan that I planned out while I was smoking weed in Banff, and it's called the Bumming Around Tour,
Oh
and
no,
it is the passion project of Blake James and 50 Road, and yeah, it's gonna be sensational.
yeah,
Bringing back the hippie van kind of hippie van festivals where like you get a bunch of people in their vans come up and everyone
yeah.
has a
Like
huge rave and big bands play and people have DJs and stuff. You
like
know,
that one in the States back in the '70s, the famous one. Ah, my brain can't remember anything these days. Getting old sucks, man. What was a famous concert where everyone just showed up? In the middle of the fields.
Woodstock,
Woodstock, that was it.
Woodstock
Jimi
'79,
Hendrix, I
baby.
love Jimi Hendrix. I love his
You know
guitar
what?
solos are just insane.
You know what
Is
was
that's Jimi
crazy?
Hendrix in the background there, right?
Jimmy Anderson on my shirt
Oh,
too.
he's on your shirt. I didn't even notice that. I just saw the picture just to go
Got a
diagonal.
great fit going, man. Got my nice belt buckle. I got and the serpent playing the guitar.
Oh, I can hear the tune in my head like all the time. It's
I
great.
one thing I saw was John Fogerty on SNL talking about playing Woodstock '79, saying how he played after the Grateful Dead. And
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever seen the Grateful Dead play, but
yeah.
they're not easy to follow,
No, I know.
especially
I've seen like videos and stuff. Yeah.
especially because they went like 2 hours over their time. So by the time they were done, everyone was all just tripped out and sleeping, and no one was really up. And like Creedence Clearwater Revival comes on, and then no one's there's just one guy in the background, and then he was like, "I'm playing for that guy." So yeah, they. But apparently, I saw like this TikTok saying how much people got paid for that event. Apparently, they got paid like $5,000, which back in the '70s was a pretty good amount of money.
Yeah.
I saw Primus
It's
only
still
got
a good
paid
amount of money to me
750.
today.
Yeah, true. Honestly, yeah. But Primus only got paid $750, and I saw people in the comments were just fuming about that. And but it was apparently because oh no, it wasn't Primus. That's Santana only got paid like $750 for it, but they weren't as big as they were like in like the '80s. So like they weren't really known that much when the Woodstock '79 happened, so they didn't get paid as much.
How,
But
how
Hendrix
do
got paid a good amount of money for that one. I think he got paid like 20 to 40K. I remember it was pretty high, especially for like '79. He got paid a lot of money.
How did you get? I remember like years ago, you kept asking me, "All right, you got any good rock bands I can listen to? You got any good
Yeah.
rock bands?" And I used to give you all these like these bands. Like, what? How did you get into like rock music? Like, what? Like,
Like I said, literally Bohemian Rhapsody, that
yeah,
movie. That
that
movie,
I'm sure you listened. Like,
literally,
that movie came out when you were what? How old?
grade eight, so I'd have to say 12, 13, probably. So
Jeez.
yeah,
Yeah,
12,
that's it.
13, 7 years ago,
Okay.
8 years ago,
Yeah, I do
6 years ago.
remember. I remember. Okay, that makes sense. That was around the time you were asking
But
me when I was still able to kick your ass and your friends' asses. Now you're all fucking bigger than me. I still reckon I could take you all, but you know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm just confident.
exactly.
All right. So
Confidence is key, you know?
if you could go back, right, you could go back and give yourself some advice from like 6 years ago. Would you go back? What would you go back and tell yourself? What would you go back to tell yourself to change or not to do or to do, or would you just say like, just experience it and what,
Um, I would tell myself I don't have any regrets about high school other than prioritizing women a lot. I was really trapped in the mindset of I want to be in a relationship all the time, and if I'm not in a relationship, I'm just not happy, you know. And then when you get mistreated, which is what happened to me, I got absolutely bojangled by three broads, but we don't have to get into that right now. But that was one thing that I
But what did
shouldn't
they
have done.
what did they do to you? Did they cheat on you? They didn't treat you right? They mess with your head? They play games like
The first girl I dated, she was we got along really well, and she was really really nice. But we just like at the end of it just started arguing a lot, and it was just became we were more unhappy than happy. And she wouldn't leave, but then she would just act like we weren't together when we were together, and we would just argue all the time. So then I had to break it off, and then I got in a relationship literally 2 weeks later, which is so smart. Obviously, you don't want to give yourself
yeah,
time to heal.
great
Obviously, just
idea.
jump into a brand new relationship right away, which is the smartest thing to do. And then that girl was not mentally stable at all. So then she was played a lot of mind games. Was that one? She would like want to see me and then not want to see me, and then she was like a very very bipolar behavior. Like she'd be happy one day, pissed off the next day, blame me for a lot of her own mental struggles, and yeah, she was a absolute nightmare to deal with. And then right after and then a year after that, a year of literally just going from girl to girl to girl to girl. Well, not that much, but just
Hey, you should feel lucky because a lot of guys your age that I like spoken to, they can't even talk to girls.
oh man, no,
They like try and get their number from online and then message them. But like they had like you're like I think you stand out a little bit. Your generation has like no confidence to talk to girls. Like what
for
we
sure.
had I sound like such an old person saying this. Like we had to learn how to like we obviously we were I was in the generations where phones weren't a thing, but then they became a thing, but they weren't like great. They were pretty useless. You got like 50 text messages to send. Nowadays you send 50 text messages in an hour. We had 50 text messages for
Mm,
the week. So you had to talk to girls. You were forced to do it, which created
exactly.
confidence. And I think a lot of your generation like in men lack confidence because they were never forced into doing that.
Yeah, they're just behind the screen. It's so easy to talk this crazy game behind the screen, and then you see
Yeah,
them in person, and then you're just shaking, and you
you
don't
just
know what to do with
melted.
yourself. I remember, no, single me was a menace, man. I'm almost glad I'm in a relationship now because I don't want to be, I don't want to be a single lead singer because being the lead singer of a band, you're playing all these venues, all these drunk chicks are around, it's just. And then you have drinks after the venue talking to everyone. Like it's easy to get game, so it's good to be tied down to one
Yeah.
person and have your head focused on the music and not the other half of it, which is the
Yeah.
partying, the girls, and the drugs and all that
Just
stuff.
yeah, stay sober, man. Your story's just getting started, but
Yeah, it's the best part of it is balance, man. Like anything is bad if you take too much of it. You can die from over. You can overdose on water. Like everything
really,
is taken in
you
proportion.
mean you
Yeah,
can drown?
you can, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
You're
no,
not overdose,
if
but
you
you'll
drink
drown.
you drink too much water, like your stomach will explode. Like it's just that's the fact. You can't. Everything's good in moderation. So take your partying for a Friday every 2 weeks, or if you're having a crazy gig and just put an awesome show, go have some beers with the band, But then get up the next day and get back to work and screw your head back on straight. And like
Yeah,
4 or 5 day benders isn't in the cards if you're really want to be committed. And especially the way it is now, you're not getting a band manager who's going to be doing the other half of it for you while you just go party and get fucked up with the band until the next show, right? Like
yeah,
you have to be the band manager until like the way someone told it to me was I was talking to somebody who was in the industry is you have to show that you can make money and sell yourself before people are going to invest money in you. So
yeah.
with social media, with ticket promos, with local venues, if they don't see that you can sell yourself people don't see they'll buy you already, they're not going to bother. They don't care. Before it was harder for music companies. They would have to go to these local venues and find a good band, and they would have to ask them to come work for us, and like they would have to have scouts and stuff, and that's just really unheard of now. All you have to do is find who's trending on social media, invest money into them, and then that's an easy return, so
You have to stand out a little bit.
exactly. If you don't already have a following and a presence, they're not even going to talk to you. Like someone said, like if you don't have a million followers, like record labels won't even look at you.
Yeah, yeah. Kev. I think he's got some pretty good connections.
That's
He's
what I heard. That's who I was talking to. Was one of Kev's buddies. He was telling me that. That's who.
um,
Yeah, he's in the Toronto Hollywood actor scene. He's done a lot of stuff. He's in film production and
but the
whatnot.
thing I think that's going to help you is you're bring like I don't know, like all the music's like the era is changing and stuff, and you're sort of bringing back something that a lot more people are like reconnecting to, because like all the I hear all this music these days, and it's just bands rewriting great songs and putting a beat on them and then making them their own, and then people think that they wrote this song, which they didn't. They just took it. But you're sort of bringing back that kind of old school, and there's not that many people doing that. People are all trying to, like just go with what's trending. But you're not going with what's trending. You're starting your own trend, which I think it could be. I have no idea about music. I'm just saying for my personal, because I love music.
For
I
sure.
love the type of music that you listen to, but I also love techno. I also love, country, and I actually even sometimes when I'm working, I listen to classical music. But it's just like that kind of range, and I like that you kind of focused on like this. I'm this rock guy. My hair looks like this. I'm gonna sing like this. And if you're and I feel like even if you had band members that didn't show up, then what I think you would kind of like Motley Crue, you would just drop them, find somebody else, and keep moving forward, which I think is yeah.
Push into that the place I want to be, man. That's all that matters. Yeah, having a vision in mind and not stop until you get it. That's all it gets down to. If you don't
Yeah.
have that drive, you don't have that dedication. Pack up your toys and go home, man. That's all there is to it. You can't see it because of my hair.
I was gonna say, I was like, wow, the sound quality in his phone's way better than mine. I got a separate mic on the go, and then I'll just isolate the sound and add it into the video so that it's
Dude,
like
look on eBay for sure 7Bs. Like regular they cost about like 400, $500. I found mine for like 150 US maybe. It was like 110 US.
I
Great
know.
podcast microphones, great vocal microphones for like that James Hadfield uses them. That's why I bought it, honestly, is because James Hadfield uses it for recording his vocals. We both have that same loudness, like wow, like yeah, like
Yeah,
that kind of
where it
grit. And
crackles,
so
when you get too
it,
high.
it captures the tone of it rather than the loudness of it. It's really and then the main thing is too is background noise. Like someone was playing the drums right behind the mic, and you could barely hear the drums on the vocal
Uh,
mic, which is huge for me because I have a very small setup, so my drummer is literally right behind me, and with
yeah,
the with my dynamic microphone, the dynamic microphone picks up the whole room, so you can hear a lot of drums through my PA, which is fine because it kind of sounds like reverb and it doesn't sound awful. Like you can still hear because I have a lot of soundproofing, so the echo isn't as bad. Before I had soundproof blankets, it was we would just play down in the basement, which is like 1,400 square feet of just concrete. So the sound was bouncing everywhere. Like we literally couldn't jam for a month until I got the blankets. It sounded so horrible. We couldn't even play one song down there. The echo is unbearable. But then I literally just bought these ceiling hooks from Rona and just screw them into the drywall ceiling and then hung up some blankets and it worked like a charm. They're literally just
That's a good idea.
moving blankets, not even like soundproof blankets. The soundproof blankets they're like $150 a piece. I'm like fuck that. So I found these heavy duty moving blankets. It was like 12 of them for like $120. I was like, I'm not getting a better deal than that.
That makes a huge difference. It sounds most important. Your videos are great, but if I gave you some honest feedback on them, like yeah,
Lighting. I
the
remember you
the
told me that.
the lighting and the
Yeah,
sound quality on the video is kind of it's a little comes off a little distorted. That's
that's
what I'm
what
saying.
that's what
I don't mind. Obviously, I don't have that great the mic either, but I don't mind. I'll come through. I'll do a video for you. That will like be high quality. We might have to rent a mic for doing that.
I
Um,
I don't know, dude. With the mics I'm getting in, I feel like I'm gonna have more than enough mics for the sound quality. That's what I was just talking about with that mixing board. I'm gonna
yeah,
have so I'll have two, and then I'll have probably about nine different mics running at the same time, recording all the
yeah.
different instruments. I have two. I have five separate mics just for the drum kit. I have I have a brand new it's a Shure 55 SH series. You don't know what it is, but it looks absolutely bitchin', man. It looks so cool. It's like an old fashioned kind of microphone. It's like the one like a 50s radio broadcaster would use. It's like that kind of style where it's like all metal around it. It's got like the
Yeah,
little slits. If
I
you if
know, I
you
know.
if
I
I
can
showed you
envision
if I
it from
showed you it,
videos.
you would know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it looks so cool. It's coming in before the gig, so I'll be able to use it for the gig. It's gonna look so cool live. It's pretty much like my Shure SM58, but a little bit better. It's got
Well,
better what's it called?
I like your little product placement there on the left. I like that. I like
Yeah,
it.
and it's
Uh,
cool, right?
yeah,
That's my band logo right there, 50 Road. And then my
there you
girlfriend
go.
made me these cool flowers out of guitar picks, and so I just filled the mug with some with the flowers, and I'm gonna put it in the studio, but it's on my desk for now.
So, if you like, you've been on my Instagram recently, right? And you've had a look around. What do you think
Yeah,
of it? What do you think of my message? What do you think of what I'm trying to achieve and doing?
I do love the positive feedback. I mean, sorry, not the positive feedback, the positive mindset and the positive attitude that you're bringing. I notice a lot of people are starting to do that now, and it's good to see that we have a movement. We're trying to get more good than bad in the world. Trying to get some decent people because I think at least half of the people I meet on a day-to-day basis, not to sound entitled or arrogant or anything, are just like don't even understand like common decency or like have common manners or social cues. Like I don't know what's going on with my generation and or even like just the time we're in now. Like a lot of people I mean it doesn't feel like Canada anymore. It doesn't feel it's starting to feel more like I feel
Do
like my
you
small town's starting to turn into like a city, and
do you
no one
think it's
holds the door for
hard?
people anymore.
Do you think in this day and age, do you think it's harder being a man or being a woman?
Man, for sure.
And you're not just are you saying that because you're a man? And why would you say it's harder for men? What do you say is
Yeah, you know what?
especially your age, going through
I'm not
COVID and
gonna.
all that
Yeah,
stuff?
I wouldn't say in general like every single man it has it hard and every single woman has it easy. Like obviously, there's different situations for different people, but I would say I feel like there's a lot more scrutiny for men. Like we're under more of a microscope. I feel like if a man did something bad and then a woman did something bad, even if they did the exact same thing, I feel like the man would be under more scrutiny than the woman would be. Like I heard just like the one thing with the Menendez thing that came out, the TV show called Monsters. It was about these two guys that apparently got raped their whole lives by their father and then killed their
I saw it.
parents. Yeah. So and then the whole thing was if they were girls, it would have been a lot different. And I thought that was um really cool to hear about that because at the time no one really cared that like there were guys they just kind of just threw them in jail and it didn't really matter. And now apparently they're up for like another trial again or something like that because it's starting to move the other way, which was cool to see how they prosecute and redo the trial now. I was really interested to see watching that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess I don't have any concrete examples on how, like, because life's not really that hard for me. I go
We,
to I go to work. I get treated nicely. I make as much money as I can. But I feel like in like my job, like as a server, I see all the women. They always attract a lot more of the people, and they
yeah,
bring in a lot more
the tips.
customers. But then that's just at my job. If you're at a construction site, all the guys are, a guy comes in there, he's gonna be looked at as, hey, one of the homies pulling up,
Yeah,
it's all good. But if a chick pulls up, they're gonna probably not see her as one of the homies, and bring her in on all the jokes, not be as chill. So it'd be harder for her in that situation. So I guess it's kind of hard to say, and it's kind of arrogant just to say guys have it harder. So I guess that's probably not the right thing to say, but
I feel
everyone
like
everyone has a different situation, and everyone experiences life through a different view, and it's hard to generalize in a whole
yeah.
and just say one final statement.
But for your generation is like, man, like I don't envy it, and I just feel like with the kind of the whole world these days are going a bit crazy. Like, you can't say anything without offending anybody. You can't, like back in our day when I was younger, you would like you liked a girl, you would maybe try kiss her to see if she liked you back. You didn't know, like it was just the thing, and they would just say no, and you'd be like, oh, okay, no, that was weird, and you would learn from it, and then and you know, nowadays if you try to do that, you're like, you're accused of being some sort of perverted person, and like how like I feel like how are young men able to gauge what they can and can't do without being classed as like a pervert or a rapist, or or anything you say now is just like sexist, and all it's just it's so much more deeper, and I think it's important that you respect women, you treat them right, but I think it's went so far that some men have become scared to like approach women and ask them out anymore.
I feel I feel like the one thing I've observed with my age specifically, between the boys and the girls, is that it's hard to find a wife among all these girlfriends. You know, like it's I feel like they're all kind of looking for male attention and not necessarily just one male.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people's girlfriends that will like talk to other guys flirtatiously, post these crazy bikini pictures of this them in their room in front of a mirror just with a bikini on. And I'm like, how
Yeah.
is that different to taking a picture in your bra and panties? Like it's the same thing. And like if like my 15, 16-year-old daughter was posting that, I'd be like, what are you doing, man? Like who are you what's
I
the
couldn't.
content
I
here?
would be like, do you
What's
want
the
to post?
content? Wait, who are you attracting with this content? All you're
Yeah.
attracting is thirsty guys that just want to rip that stuff off and treat you like a piece of shit. And then the next guy's just gonna come in and do the same thing, and you're just gonna go off that high of having that little male attention every once in a while, and then it becomes an addiction, and it just becomes the new social norm, which it is. Like
Yeah,
I saw
it's
this
so
thing,
great.
which
It's
I saw
just
this I saw this thing. It was a bunch of women, female swimmers, in the 50s, lined up in a row, like about to dive, and
yeah.
they were all wearing like these kind of dresses, like low cut, like to the knees, like a little bit high cut, like just like a 50s bathing suit. And the caption was, "Who knew that these women's bathing suits would turn into the modern day prom dress?" I thought that was so funny that like it literally looks exactly like what these kids are wearing to like their grade 8 graduation, or like their grade
It's
9 formals.
it's
And I thought it
terrifying.
was like really funny how like it's evolved like that, to like where that's okay, like sexualizing, and people want to say that it's our fault for sexualizing it. But like I don't know, I feel like if a hooker wears like fishnets and a very revealing top, I feel like that's already sexualizing itself just right there. Like it's just already a sexual object. There's no like me perceiving it that way isn't my fault. And people are like, "Oh yeah, it's your fault. You shouldn't see it that way. She's just expressing herself. She thinks it looks
Yeah.
cute." And I'm like when I see like if I'm going to a strip club, like if I'm a single guy going to a strip club, seeing all these girls like in these low cut tops and these high cut shorts, I'm not gonna think, oh, this is a bunch of cute, pretty looking women. They're all very nice and formal. I'm gonna take these all home to
Yeah,
mom,
yeah. You're not going.
As I'm
They're
not
not
gonna
wearing a.
think that.
They're not
I'm
wearing
gonna
a
think these
dress.
women are
Yeah.
all hot, and obviously they're just trying to get my money, but they're all hot. I don't think, oh, that's a cute top to wear out, you know. But then all these girls are dressing like strippers, and then they get mad when they get so much male attention, or they want all this male attention. It can go either way.
Yeah, I know. I was lucky. I recently found a diamond in the rough. You know, I started seeing somebody else, and
Oh, right on.
she is. You know, sometimes separation's good because I separated from my ex, and now I've actually found someone that's, you know, way more suited to me, and you know, is a good human being that supports. Like she good, like doing all these podcasts and stuff. Like my ex, you know, she never supported anything that I wanted to do, and I wanted to do this because
Hmm.
it was important. And this new girl, she's like, "Wow, that's so cool! You know, you should do it. You know, go for it. You know, when you start, when you're doing it." And I'm just like, kind of gave me back that sort of motivation and fire under me to, you know, go ahead and do it. So you know, if you find the right woman and you got the right woman behind you, you know, you can achieve a lot. You know.
That's honestly, I feel that's so hard with like my girlfriend now too. I feel like she's honestly a diamond in the rough. Like among all these people for the street, she's the one that like I want to keep, like take home to mom. She's I'd marry her in a second easily. Like she's so loyal to me. She cares about me so much. She's always thinking about me. She always takes me into consideration. Supports the shit out of me. Exactly like you. That's such a big thing, man. Like if she didn't support my band and my music career, like
You know, so
how would that work? It wouldn't. So the fact that she said even if you were just a bum strumming your guitar on the street, she would still love me and she'd still be with me. So you know that means more than like anything I could ask for. You know.
are you? And what do you want to have a family?
You know, I when I was in high school, I was thinking I didn't want kids, but now
I used to say that having kids is the greatest thing ever.
yeah, I can't wait to my the thing that really changed it for me was Piper. I don't know why. Like, because I started picturing that my daughter would be a lot like her, and yeah, just coming home from work every day. Because once Piper grows up, I'm not because every day I get home from work and I'll see Piper and she'll say, "Oh, Blake, hi Blake, I love you. You're the best brother ever. I miss you so much."
Yeah, I
And then
remember.
I'll ask her about her day. But and then every time I see her, she says, "Hi Blake, I love you. You're the best brother ever." And I just like before I leave or like anytime I get home. And I'm like when she gets into high school, like obviously she's not gonna say that to me and like she's not gonna say that to me forever. And yeah, I want to have like that kind of experience with like my kid, like saying they're the best dad ever and yeah, being there for your kid and
No.
raising them. I feel like that'd be a great experience. But
Piper
yeah,
is
Piper,
a
yeah,
saint.
she
She's the
honestly
man.
she is honestly she is the sunshine of my life for sure. She's always so happy and so positive and so sweet. She's so funny too, so quirky. Oh,
Yeah.
she's so cool. Yeah, she's gonna be. I always say she's gonna be such a badass in high school, man. For you to run in that school, she's such a cool chick. I love her.
Yeah. With a mixture of you know, your mother and Kev, and then being around you guys, yeah, she's
I know, dude.
she's going in there with
Having
some
me as an
ammo,
older
you know what I
brother,
mean?
man. I got her a 50 road shirt, like
Oh yeah,
of my
where's
band.
mine? I would have wore it if you sent me one.
I haven't got. I just it was literally a prototype I got from the design place. They're like, "Do you want a prototype of?" Because I went to go price out shirts and see how much it would
I
be
have
per
a friend.
unit.
I know somebody that does shirts. If you need
Oh
someone
yeah,
to, yeah,
all
but
right, yeah.
they live not far from me. But they did used to do all my business shirts and stuff, and they were great quality. I
Right
was always
on.
impressed.
I found this place in Stony Creek. They were gonna offer me shirts at like it was like $13 a shirt, $10 a shirt. Wasn't too
But
bad.
at your price or sale price?
Sale like from them, like me buying the shirt.
Why don't you could just set up a drop shipping and then you don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
It's
But
easy.
like
And I'm not a computer whiz, and I set up a drop shipping, and it's actually not hard, and it
I
costs
do
you
want to
less.
sell them at shows and stuff too,
Yeah,
like
no,
have them on
that's the
hand.
point. Buy them in bulk.
Exactly. That's why she said if I bought like 100, 200, then I get them at like $8 a shirt, $6 a shirt. So then I said like, can I just buy a prototype? And then I was gonna give it to Piper. So then I said, yeah, just give me like kids small and put
Oh,
the band logo on it. And then I gave it to her for Christmas. She freaking loved it. She wears it to school all the time. This is my brother's
that's great.
band. And so I'm gonna have her actually run security for me for the first show. She's gonna have her like with a little beanie on, have the 50
Uh,
Road shirt. She'll have a little clipboard letting people in.
well, if you get me a shirt and a poster, I'll put the poster in the background, so it'll be in all my
We're
videos.
once we can start making some more money investing it into the band, then we're gonna
Well,
start making lots of stuff.
so for this podcast, like right, like it's gonna take me a couple days to edit and like do all the fine details in it. Are you gonna like share it? You got places to share? I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
get
got
I'm
I
gonna I'm gonna get you to do like a spiel about your band and following your band and where they can find you, and I'm gonna take all the links to your social media. And it's gonna all be in, and this is gonna be on the video of us talking will be on YouTube.
hmm
The recording will be on a podcast. Obviously, it's the first podcast, so sometimes it can take a while to to generate like people listening. But YouTube, usually I've got that pretty good hold. My TikTok following's grown a lot, so it could be a good way to if you promote it to your friends and your friends' bands, and then you get them to promote it, and you like really push on it, and it grows. It grows your people knowing about 50 Road, and it also helps my channel, which promotes you, and then we can do this again in like a few months and see
trying to have the band on too. Yeah,
and have the band. Like, yeah, it'd be great. I'd love to come through and do that. I'd like to do that in person. Would you get a sofa? We'll do it in the studio, in the
yeah,
basement.
yeah,
Get
yeah.
all set up. Sit there and you have some beers and whatnot. And, that'd be good
No,
fun.
yeah, we'll do it properly. That'll be sweet. Yeah, I'll talk to them about it, see if they want to do it. But yeah,
Um,
I have like my personal Facebook and Instagram and social media that I use for like my personal band stuff. So I'll promote it all on there and whatnot.
yeah, that's a good idea. Right. Well, I've basically got through everything I've wanted to ask. Anything you want to ask me?
Anything I want to ask you? Um,
Not that I know anything about bands, but I
what
got some pretty good life experience.
what do you what are you doing to make money right now? Like, how are you making a living?
Right now, I am working for a landscaping company, and I'm doing all their carpentry stuff.
Okay,
And for the winter, they had some reno projects, which I'm leading. And on the sides, I'm doing my social medias. I'm building I've got a website and building courses for like young guys, to help them like, not so much guys like you, because you're very, what you want, where you're going, and you're focused, which is fantastic. And I want to install that in other young guys, because I feel like if I could go back and tell myself some things, I would change a few things. I did a lot of world traveling, and I've been all over the world, and I got great experiences. I've seen some great bands, but there's other things I would change. I would like to, spend more time I would have spent more time in the gym. I would have spent more time, documenting and writing about what I was doing. But if you don't journal, you don't write about what you're doing and stuff like that, I would kill to like go back and read what I was doing like, 15 years ago, because I did some
hmm
really like cool shit. So yeah, I'm building courses for guys that, things that can help them progress in confidence and, reach their goals. I'm not like a massively successful person, but I'm fairly confident in my abilities to, understand what, I need to be doing to be happy and
for sure.
and strive. And I just feel like it's so hard for your generation compared to what it was when I was younger, with the likes of social media. There's so much scrutiny on you. There's so much like hardship, and the male suicide rate is absolutely through the roof. And it's
I've been seeing that. Yeah.
the stats are like outstanding. I'm not going to quote the stats right now because I don't have the exact numbers in my mind, and I haven't written them down, which I wish I did, and I don't want to say them and get it wrong. But
hmm
it's crazy the amount of
More
young
than it
people.
should be. It's more than it
Yeah,
should be for sure.
and it's worse than it's
That's
ever
the
been. And
bottom
it
line.
and the
Yeah,
thing is, it's getting worse, and so it's important to me, and I've lost friends. I know people have lost friends to suicide, and I think that it is something that if we, share more awareness, create more things about it. I'm actually signing up to the Ottawa Marathon, by the way, in 12 weeks.
Oh, right
So
on. Nice.
I'm going to be trying to raise money for men's mental health with
That's
that.
awesome. That's
So
fantastic.
I'm running. I'm back in training. I'm running. I'm
Running for the
sore.
boys.
Yeah, I did 12K
Running for the
yesterday.
fellas. I love
Yeah,
it.
12K yesterday, and probably do another 6K later on this afternoon. And
Yeah, dude, running's awesome, man. Finding something that gives you that energy to expel your emotions and get a good place to go to when you're feeling like crap. It's
yeah,
crucial to have,
run,
really.
run,
It really is.
running, running is absolutely a horrible thing to do. But the things that you go through in your mind running, the more you do that, it actually helps you deal with everyday life, which I found. That's why I run.
Just a little hard on your knees.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
It wasn't that hot the other day because it was like -12 and I was running in snow and ice. So I was
yeah,
very good.
running and exercising when it's cold out is the best. I've actually been doing because I do a lot of vocal training. I like just listen to piano arpeggios, and then I'll like go like up on octave. I'll do different sounds and stuff, and just warm up my vocals and like train it. I've been doing a lot of like AC/DC and like hair metal and like Rat, Motley Crue,
Yeah,
that kind of singing, and like Metallica, a lot of metal stuff. So having a really toned, like good grit and like good high frequencies, like so you can
yeah,
sing that really tough stuff, and having a lot of breath is important. So what I've been doing is like going out to the garage because we have like some weights and a bike out there. So I'll just be riding the bike and then doing vocal exercises while I'm like going really fast. So like I
that's
have
a
to
good
like
idea.
stay in breath and then keep the tone well. That's gonna
That's
help
just like just
because when
doing
I'm
the
on stage, that's cardio, baby. When I'm
yeah,
banging my head and like jamming,
yeah,
jumping up and down, running around, like that's and then I gotta sing at the same time. Like it's hard, and even playing the guitar, because I'm like jamming my arm really hard, going to different chords. Like
yeah.
that takes a lot of
I
muscle and a lot of
dude, it's funny.
effort.
It's funny you say that because like sometimes when I'm running, like I don't always bring my phone because I track most of my runs with my watch, but I bring my phone because I like to make videos, right? And sometimes I pull my phone out and I'll try to do a video, and I've just run. I'm on my like kilometer 9. I'm trying to make a video. I'm like, so, I'm like, wow, that's harder than I thought it was gonna
Literally,
be.
yeah, I know. It's really important, yeah, to have good cardiovascular training and being someone who likes to party. It's
Yeah,
crucial to
yeah.
stay in
So
shape, right?
you obviously your flag. Are you comfortable talking about that on this podcast?
Yeah,
Because I
I'm
remember you
19.
used
I'm
to
I'm I'm fully legal in this country.
no, I remember you used to keep it pretty quiet.
No, I never, and then before 19 is I don't recall anything. But yeah, since 19, since Banff for sure. Definitely started
so
rolling down the river
so
on Proud Mary.
are you gonna smoke weed forever?
For sure.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Do you
I
think
don't see why not.
do you still drink a lot, or you don't?
Um
Or
I
sorry, you just started drinking because you just turned 19. Do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
drink a
I
lot?
I do drink a lot with the band sometimes where if we're having a little jam, I'll have a couple brews. But whenever I'm drinking, I'm usually driving, so I always make sure I only have one or two and over
Yeah.
like a 4 hour time span or a 5 hour time span. So,
Yeah.
but always having a few beers with the band, especially because I always jam after work, so it's nice to have a beer
Yeah.
and chill. But never alone, which is good. Like I never like feel a
Yeah.
compulsion to drink alone, which I feel like a lot of people used to suppress
Like this guy,
emotions
like
and
this
stuff.
guy. I don't drink, by the way. I never drink.
It's like you're on a call. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I don't
I'd be
drink.
having one too if I wasn't gonna
Uh,
head into work after this. You
no,
know.
I honestly don't drink anywhere near as much as I used to. I just don't have time. Between having the kids and the new relationship. And now training for this marathon. I don't. I like to have a beer now and then, but
Yeah, for sure.
you can't. Well, I mean, I guess you can, but it probably slows you down. But you can't train and drink all the time and still get the same benefits, right?
I did hear like for like the clear alcohol, like the whiskeys and the vodkas are like the best to have if you want to drink and still be like really healthy. But
I
I
don't
don't
know,
know.
but I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I
A
wouldn't.
nice brewski, I can't say no
I wouldn't
sometimes, man.
listen to that because that stuff
No?
just it does that stuff just destroys your liver.
That's
It
true. Yeah,
destroys
it's
your
straight.
liver.
Yeah, it's straight
Yeah.
alcohol. True. Yeah,
You know, being
that's true.
drinking a lot of beer and remaining thin when you hit the age of like, 30, that's difficult. You
I'm
know, if
I'm
I
I'm
didn't drink, I would be like ripped.
I'm going for it right now. I'm still trim. I got that nice rock star body. I'm in my prime. So hopefully
Yeah,
we can keep that going as long as I can.
honestly,
Gotta look good
honestly,
for the
do
stage, you
not
know?
do. Yeah, and you're 19 and your 20s. They're the most like everyone will tell you at my age. Oh no, 30s. Your 20s are the best years of your life, and you'll never get them back. You know, don't spend them forgetting the night before. Just keep doing what you're doing, embrace it, and I hope like when you become famous, you'll remember this little podcast.
I can't forget you, Ryan. I'm related to you.
Yeah, and yeah, man.
I'll
So
be I'll be
here
thanking you. I'll be thanking you at the Grammys.
at the Grammys, yeah. I don't know, who needs a fucking Grammy? You don't need a Grammy.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on awards. I'm not a fan of the
No,
awards
I
system.
award shows. Yeah,
It's
no,
just
dude.
rich
It
people
sounds brutal.
shaking each other's cocks for being rich.
I would
Um,
I would love to pull up to the award show, my biker jacket and black jeans and Doc Martens.
yeah, nobody does that anymore, man.
What's going on? Yeah.
So tell
Randy.
us, use a minute. Talk about your band. Tell us where they're gonna find you, like and tell us like what your goals are with it, and why they're the band that they should come listen to.
We're a small town band. We're started in Grimsby, Ontario, in a small studio. But we got a big presence. We got a big attitude. You can find us at 50roadband.com. We got all of our social medias up there, upcoming shows. You can read about all of our members and our whole bios in there. And we got some cool band pictures uploaded. We got on our Instagram and social media and our TikTok and Facebook. Got a bunch of cool clips of different songs we cover. We're hosting a show at the end of March, March 29th in Grimsby, Ontario. If you make it, check it out. Tickets are free. It's going to be an absolute killer time. We're debuting two new songs, two 50 Road originals that are going to be coming out soon on Spotify and Apple Music and whatnot. We're going to be recording and releasing those within sometime this summer. Big plans. So come check out a real rock band that's really kicking her down and doing it the old fashioned way. Real musicians and some real fun.
Yeah, yeah, man. I really appreciate you coming on and doing this first podcast. I think it's gonna stand out, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah. It was an
I've,
interesting offer. I didn't know what to think because
I've,
I've never been on a podcast, kind of like talking like
yeah.
this too much. So it's I'll probably be having a lot of likes and a
Well,
lot of
for, for me,
and a lot of stuttering, but hopefully the message came across clear. Hopefully everyone had a good time, had a few laughs.
for me as well, man. This is the first time like I've done multiple videos. I've never done like a video for a podcast to be posted. Honestly, I've known you for many years, and I've always admired your confidence to like stand up and sing in front of a group of people. I even remember, you were you must I can't remember what age you are. You must have been like I don't know 12, 13, and you were singing. I can't remember what song it was, but there was probably like 15 people there, and we were all drinking and partying, and your mom just went, "Everybody quiet!" Everyone, we all were like, "Okay, we're all quiet." So we all listened to you sing, and you just sang. You didn't give a care that like no one was like really that interested. But then we start singing, and everyone was like, "I was like, man, this kid's got some confidence, you know." And it doesn't surprise me at all that you have started a band and you're like singing it. Just it kind of it's fitting from watching your upbringing and watching what you've achieved. And I think I don't know your dad. I don't know anything about him. But I do know that your mum is your number one supporter, and that she I watched her encourage everything you do. Honestly, don't I know you love your mom, you respect, but like I'm seeing it from an outside point of view. It's always her, you know her pushing you and her just it just always impressed me, man. And
Yeah, I love my dad. He's always there for me.
I know
He's
I don't know
so
you.
good, so good,
Yeah.
so good at giving advice. But my mom's definitely the one who's always on top of me, always pushing, always making me strive for greatness, and always always making me try new things, and she's definitely always on top of me. That's for sure, making me push, and it's good to have someone who does that, right?
Yeah.
And it's frustrating sometimes. I clash with her all the time. She clashes with
Oh
me,
yeah, I see
but
that. I did
no,
that.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're because most of the time it's because we're a lot alike, which is the worst part. But no, we definitely have our times. I get a lot of inspiration from my mom, and then yeah, my dad too, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, no, I don't know your dad at all, so
Yeah,
I
obviously, yeah, you never met him
I'm
before,
it was,
for
yeah.
sure.
All
I
right,
know what you
well,
mean.
I'm gonna let you go, man. That was great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too, dude. That was
Thanks.
awesome. Yeah, that went awesome. That went really well. Went really,
Yeah,
really well.
and I'm gonna try and check out the date and whatnot. I'm gonna see if I can try and come through. I can't promise anything, but no, it'd be pretty cool if I could make it
Yeah, no, for
through
sure. Let
your
me know, dude. No
concert.
worries.
And
And
yeah.
so am I gonna get like a final